When you lean into him, when your lips are close to his ear and your voice softens, and you say, "I feel so safe with you," something shifts inside him at a level he can't explain. It's not just words, it's not just a compliment, it's a doorway into his masculine heart, the place where loyalty is born, where devotion lives. Because deep down, every man wants to feel like he can be your protector. Not in a controlling way, not in an aggressive way, but in a grounded, gentle, powerful way. And when you tell him you feel safe with him, you're not saying you couldn't survive without him. You're saying something far deeper. With you, my guard melts. With you, I can soften. With you, I don't have to be strong alone. That is oxygen to a masculine soul. Men don't fall for perfection, they fall for the woman who lets them feel like they matter, the woman who trusts them enough to open her heart and rest in their presence. Think about how many men go through life trying to prove themselves, in their work, in the world, in silence. They carry pressure they never speak of, they hold fears they never voice. Society tells them to be strong, to have it all together, to never crack. But when a woman comes into his life and, instead of testing him, lets him feel like he is enough, that's when he becomes loyal. That's when he becomes protective in the most beautiful way, because you're not praising what he has, you're appreciating who he is. And most men rarely get that. Most men only hear what they should do better, what they're not doing enough of. But you whisper, "I feel safe with you." And suddenly, he's not being judged, he's being seen, he's being valued not for perfection, but for presence. And in that moment, his energy shifts from trying to win you to wanting to protect what he's found in you. Safety to a woman means security, safety to a man means purpose, and when you give a man purpose in your life, he gravitates to you naturally, instinctively. His loyalty stops being a duty, it becomes his desire. He doesn't want to risk the peace he feels with you, the softness you bring out in him, the pride he feels knowing he's someone you trust. And here's the beautiful thing: when you make a man feel like that, he doesn't just protect you physically. He protects your emotions, he protects your dreams, he protects the bond you share, he protects your heart like it's part of his own. A man who feels admired, who feels trusted, who feels that his presence brings peace to your life, he's not looking around. He's not comparing you. He's not wondering what else is out there. Because there's nothing more powerful to a man than being a safe place for the woman he loves, and nothing more addictive than knowing she feels safe with him too. So, the moment you say those words, say them slowly. Let him feel your breath on his skin. Let him hear the softness in your voice, the sincerity in your heart. Because you're not just speaking to his ears, you're speaking to his identity, to the deepest part of him that wants to rise for you, protect you, cherish you, and choose you every single day. And in that moment, loyalty doesn't have to be asked for. It becomes the only thing that feels right. Because when a man becomes the place where your heart can rest, he will never gamble with losing that peace. When you lean closer, look into his eyes, or gently whisper, "No one makes me feel the way you do," you're giving him something far deeper than a compliment. You're giving him significance. You're telling him, "You touch a part of me no one else has reached," and that hits a man's heart in a way nothing else can. Because the truth is, men don't just want to be liked, they want to be felt. They want to know that the connection you share with them isn't ordinary, it isn't replaceable, it isn't something you could just pick up with someone else tomorrow. Men fall in love through the feeling that they are unique in your world, that they bring out a version of you, a softness, a spark, a warmth that no one else ever has. And when you tell him, he makes you feel something special, something rare. You're not attaching yourself to him. You're inviting him into the deepest emotional territory inside you. You're saying you matter here. You're saying you wake up emotions in me that don't wake up for just anyone. Men don't crave perfection. They crave impact. They crave the emotional imprint that says, I am someone to her. So when you whisper that line, you are affirming that what you have isn't just chemistry, it's connection. It's real, it's meaningful, and it's irreplaceable. And suddenly, he's not just thinking about how much he wants you, he starts realizing how much he never wants to lose what he makes you feel. Because here's something most people don't talk about. Men don't fear losing a woman nearly as much as they fear losing the version of themselves that only she brings out. When a man feels like you see a part of him the world doesn't see, when you express that he stirs emotions in you no one else can stir, he starts to feel something incredibly powerful. He starts to feel chosen, and chosen men don't wander. Chosen men don't question. Chosen men don't look elsewhere because they feel something sacred with you, something that feels like home. You see, in a world full of distractions, full of options, full of temporary excitement, the feeling of emotional exclusivity is magnetic. It's grounding, it's rare. You're not telling him he's the only man on earth. You're telling him he's the only one who opens that door inside you. And that is where loyalty grows, not from fear, not from rules, but from value, from meaning, from knowing the bond you share isn't shallow or transactional, but deep and soulful. And in that moment, when he feels that he unlocks a part of you no one else can touch, he begins to cherish you in a different way. He starts protecting the connection. The little things he used to overlook, he starts paying attention to. The efforts he once only made halfway, he begins making fully, because now he's not just in your life, he feels like he's in your heart. And a man who feels irreplaceable won't seek replacements. He will rise, he will show up, he will invest. So when you say those words, don't rush them. Let them carry emotion. Let your tone soften. Let your eyes speak. Because you're not just giving him a sentence, you're giving him significance. You're letting him feel that what you share is not ordinary. And a man who knows he offers you something no one else can will protect that bond like it's the most valuable thing in his world. When you lean into him, when your voice drops into that soft, feminine place and you whisper, I love how you lead, it turns me on, you awaken something ancient in him. You activate a part of his masculine core that isn't about dominance or control, it's about direction, responsibility, protection, and purpose. Men don't just want to feel strong, they want to feel trusted with that strength. They want to feel like they can guide, decide, move confidently, and that you respect the energy they bring when they step into that role. So, when you acknowledge his leadership, you're not giving away your power, you're aligning with his. You're saying, I see your strength and I feel safe letting you guide, and that doesn't mean you don't have opinions. It doesn't mean you follow blindly. It means you recognize when he's showing up as the man who can hold you, support you, and move life forward with you. And when a masculine man feels that his feminine woman trusts his direction, something inside him ignites. He becomes more intentional, he becomes more decisive, he becomes more protective of the relationship because now he feels like he's leading someone who believes in him. Men crave admiration more than instruction. They respond to encouragement more than demand. And when you tell a man that his leadership turns you on, you're feeding two of the deepest masculine needs to feel powerful and to feel desired. You're not praising what he has, you're validating who he becomes when he's with you. And that is magnetic for a man. That connection between I trust you and I desire you is electric. It's the heartbeat of polarity. It's the chemistry that keeps him focused on you, loyal to you, drawn back to you again and again. Because let me tell you something, a man will never betray the woman who makes him feel like her hero. A man doesn't wander when he feels like he is winning with the woman he loves. When he feels admired, when he feels like his decisions matter, when he feels like being a leader doesn't make him controlling but cherished, he becomes fiercely devoted. Not because he has to be, but because he wants to be. He's not looking around for options, he's investing deeper into the connection that gives him both pride and passion. And here's what most people miss. When a woman acknowledges a man's leadership, she doesn't become weaker, she becomes more irresistible. When you appreciate his strength, he becomes more gentle. When you trust his direction, he becomes more confident. When you let him step up, he wants to step up even more. You don't lose power, you inspire his. You create a dynamic where you don't have to do everything alone, where you can soften, where you can breathe, where you can relax knowing he's right there guiding alongside you. And it's not about saying it to manipulate him, it's about recognizing the truth. Because when a man leads with integrity, with clarity, with intention, with heart, it is sexy. It is grounding, it is safety wrapped in passion. And when you speak those words into his ear, you remind him that his role matters, that his presence matters, that his effort is seen and felt. And trust me, a man who feels admired doesn't drift, he anchors deeper. Because when a man feels trusted, respected, and desired for the strength he brings, he doesn't just stay, he chooses you again and again, every single day, without question and without hesitation. When you lean into him, when your voice softens and your fingertips brush his skin, and you breathe out those words, "I feel so desired when you touch me," you're not just complimenting him, you're opening a portal into the emotional and physical layer of connection he craves more than he ever admits. Because for a man, intimacy isn't just physical, it's validation, it's reassurance, it's proof that he matters not only to your heart, but to your body, your energy, your feminine essence. Men want to be wanted. They want to know that when they come close, when they pull you in, when they hold your waist or kiss your neck or put their hand on the small of your back, you're not just accepting it, you're melting into it, you're feeling it, you're responding to it. That response is what fuels him. That reaction, that softness in your voice, that flutter in your breath, that's the connection he remembers long after the moment passes. So when you tell him that his touch makes you feel desired, you're giving him something sacred. You're affirming that he reaches you on a level that isn't casual or routine. You're letting him know that the way he touches you isn't just physical contact. It awakens you. It brings you alive. It pulls femininity out of you in a way nothing else does. And when a man feels that his touch can change your energy, shift your mood, make you feel beautiful and feminine and wanted, that's intimacy he doesn't gamble with. That's loyalty that doesn't need to be asked for. It becomes instinct. Most men walk through life unsure if they're giving enough, doing enough, being enough. They may act confident, they may seem sure, but deep inside they wonder, am I desired? Am I wanted? Do I still make her feel alive? And when you whisper those words, you silence every doubt. You show him that he isn't just physically close to you, he affects you. He moves you. He awakens something in you no one else can. That's not just connection, that's imprint. And here's the magic. When a man feels like he evokes desire in a woman, his loyalty deepens not out of obligation, but devotion. A man who feels like he is the one who lights you up doesn't go searching for flames elsewhere. He protects that fire. He nurtures it. He becomes intentional, thoughtful, present, because now he feels powerful in the most vulnerable way, through intimacy, through closeness, through being the one who makes you feel chosen not just emotionally but physically. You're not praising his body or technique. You're praising the effect he has on you. And that is where emotional intimacy and physical connection meet. That is where loyalty is born, in the place where a man feels not just loved, but wanted. When he believes your body responds to him uniquely, when he feels like your desire wakes up for him, he doesn't just hold onto you, he cherishes you. He starts loving you louder, protecting you deeper, and prioritizing you without you ever needing to ask. So say it with breath, not volume. Say it with softness, not effort. Let him feel it instead of hear it. Because in that moment, you're not just whispering words, you're imprinting devotion. And a man who feels desired by the woman he desires doesn't wander, he anchors. When you look at him with that soft expression, when your voice lowers just a little and you say, I love who I am with you, something inside him settles, almost like his soul exhales. Because those words aren't about praising him, they're about revealing what he brings out in you, and that is a deeper form of connection than any compliment could ever offer. You're telling him, when I'm with you, I feel like the best version of myself. Not because he completes you, not because you need him to validate you, but because his presence, his energy, his leadership, his love, they create a space where you can soften, grow, glow, and be more of who you already are. Men fall in love with the version of themselves they get to be around you. But what they stay loyal to is the version of you they help bring out. When you tell a man he inspires confidence in you, or peace in you, or joy in you, you're letting him see his impact. You're showing him that being in your life isn't just about romance or attraction, it's about expansion. You're letting him know, with you, I reflect my beauty back to myself, and that kind of bond is rare. It's emotional gold, because every man wants to feel like he doesn't just enter a woman's life, he enhances it. He elevates it, he helps unlock something inside her. That's where his pride lives, that's where his devotion grows. Most men never get to hear words like that. They hear do more, be more, why didn't you, you should. They hear pressure, expectation, evaluation, but when you look at him and say, I love who I am with you, you aren't asking him to be anyone else. You're affirming who you are already brings out something beautiful in me, and that is freedom to a man. That is encouragement, that is fuel, that gives him a role in your life that isn't burden or obligation, it's inspiration. And you know what happens when a man feels like he inspires a woman in that way, he becomes even better. Not because you push him, but because you reflect greatness back to him. He wants to continue being that man. He wants to continue showing up. He wants to continue deepening the bond. Loyalty becomes natural because he doesn't want to lose the connection that makes both of you rise. When you say this line, don't say it casually. Let it sink in. Look at him with softness. Let your energy be calm, your heart be open. Let him feel that you're not just complimenting his behavior, you're acknowledging the emotional environment he creates around you. The space where your femininity expands, where your vulnerability feels safe, where your confidence grows. Where you feel chosen, seen, uplifted, because the truth is, men don't stay where they are simply admired, they stay where they feel meaningful. They stay where they see the impact they have, where they feel like their presence makes a difference, where they feel like their role in your emotional world is unique and irreplaceable, and telling him, I love who I am with you, does exactly that. It roots him emotionally. It anchors him. It makes him not just love you, but protect what you share. Because when a man feels like he brings out the best in you, he doesn't just stay, he commits deeper, he shows up stronger, and he loves you in a way that feels safe, lasting, and loyal. When you breathe in close, touch his hand, or rest your head on his chest, and softly say, Thank you for choosing me, I'm all yours. You're giving him something deeper than affection, you're giving him recognition. You're acknowledging his devotion, his effort, his presence in your life, and at the same time you're offering your own. And those words are powerful because they don't cling, they don't chase, they don't demand, they affirm. They affirm that the connection between you isn't one-sided, isn't forced, isn't uncertain, it's mutual. It's chosen, it's sacred. Men don't fall in love because someone needs them. They fall in love when they feel chosen back. When a man chooses a woman, really chooses her, he isn't picking her out of lack or loneliness or convenience. He's choosing her because something in her aligns with who he wants to be in this world, and when you say, "Thank you for choosing me," you're letting him know you see that choice. You honor it, you respect it, you don't take it casually, and then there's the second part, "I'm all yours." Those words, when spoken from a place of love and strength, not dependency or fear, create emotional security for a man in a way very few things can. You're not saying, "I have no life without you." You're saying, "I commit to this connection. I stand in it with my whole heart. I choose you too." That kind of confidence, that level of feminine surrender to love, that is magnetic. That is grounding. That is the kind of energy that makes a man feel lucky, chosen, honored, and inspired to show up even more fully. Because loyalty isn't born from possession, it's born from appreciation. A man who feels appreciated for choosing you won't wander looking for validation somewhere else. He will protect what he has, he will value it, he will nurture it. And when you give him your trust in that moment, when your voice carries softness instead of fear, when your words are rooted in gratitude instead of insecurity, he feels something incredibly rare. Emotional safety. As a man, he feels like he doesn't have to fight to prove himself every day. He feels like he can breathe, like he can love freely without worrying if he's giving everything for nothing. You're showing him this matters, you matter. This bond isn't accidental, it's intentional. And here's what most people don't realize. When you tell a man you're his in that feminine, confident, heartfelt way, you're not surrendering power, you're activating his. You're inviting his loyalty, his devotion, his instinct to protect and cherish. You're not trapping him, you're inspiring him to stay. You're not saying you belong to him alone, you're saying you choose him fully. And that choice from a feminine woman is one of the most powerful gifts a masculine man can receive. It makes him want to rise. It makes him want to guard what he's built. It makes him want to make you feel even more chosen, even more secure, even more seen. Because in that moment, he's not just hearing your words, he's feeling your heart. And when a man feels chosen by a woman he admires, he doesn't risk losing her. He roots himself deeper. He invests harder. He loves with loyalty that feels natural, not forced. Because when you thank a man for choosing you and you offer your heart in return, you don't just keep him, you inspire him to stay forever.